Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really delighted to be here. I remember our meeting with the Linas Arturas just before the event I'm going to present to you. And I promised them that I will present the main outcomes in one of the the SE conferences, but last time I couldn't be there, so they invited me to be here and to present to you with main findings, how we can ensure our citizens' security and safety using those new modern technologies. Briefly touch upon the civil protection system. Also, I will review the emergency management essence, and also I want to share a little bit more about the Belarus nuclear power plant threat that is facing all of our region, and then I'll briefly come to the point of the exercise that I'm going to present more. So civil protection is regulated in Lithuania through law on civil protection, and it has sub-legal system that is based on the decision of government and also orders of minister and orders of directors of the Fire and Rescue Department. And we have all sort of, we have introduced in our civil protection system all the government approach, multi-hazard approach also as well. So all the governmental institutions are engaged in civil protection system, starting at the highest to the lowest level, tactical level. I'm actually the head of the Civil Protection Board, and I'm a representative of this institution that is just a rough number is about 4,000 employees, that most of them are firefighters, and my Civil Protection Board is responsible for civil protection sort of system coordination of it. And just to have some basic understanding how this emergency system is being declared and used. So we have the pyramid that starts at the bottom with the incident. Whatever the incident, we call a fire or something criminal behavior or something that causes medical stuff to respond to it. So depending on the consequences of the event, forces that are being engaged and duration, we go upper to the emergency event. That has 96 criteria, and actually it is something bigger than the incident. And if the event is not going to be managed in time and a proper manner, then we have certain conditions to be met, and there is a possibility to declare the municipal level emergency. And after that, after some time, if we see that municipal could not manage that emergency, then we go up to the highest possible state level emergency. Well, the purpose of the emergency declaration is quite, let's put it clearly, it's more streamlined organization of coordination of emergency response, but also it's easier access to the resources, and in most cases the access is really to the state level resources, whether it would be the material resources or it is compensation. And we have the two-level emergency system in place, so the highest possible level employs the government of the Republic. Basically, it's responsible for the declaration of the emergency and also for the appointment of State Command of Operations. And we also have the Government Emergency Commission that actually is being chaired by the Interior Minister. And there we have representation of all ministries and 6 special institutions. So after declaration of the emergency, State Command of Operations would be appointed, and emergency operation centers will be also invoked and operated. We have 60 municipalities that actually they're replicating the same sort of principle. We have emergency commission that's been responsible for the declaration, sort of, at least for the suggestion to the municipal administration for the declaration of the emergency. and also of the appointment of municipal operation commander. Yeah. And this is how it looks the operation center, whatever it would be at the state level or at the municipal level. It's all the same. It's replicated and taken from the United Nations emergency response cluster. So basically, we have a commander of operation that is being supported by the operation center, and we have the central figure coordinator, and then we have the information management group. These three groups are mostly important. So they are responsible for data management, so to say. These guys are Operation Assessment Emergency Prevention Group. They are responsible for solution and prognosis of the situation. Basically, they are the experts. They know how to solve the situation. And we have the Public Information Group that mainly responsible for public media, communication to the media in public. And then we have the supportive group. Maybe this group is more important because they focus on the logistic aspects of the operations. Okay, and then the main risk that we have updated this year, and we have to present it to the European Commission this year. By the way, all European countries have to do that by the end of December this year. So at the upper right corner, you would see the risks that we have a problem, whatever this problem would arise from the capabilities or from the other things that we could not prevent it. But this is clearly show us where is the problem. And we use this matrix approaching whatever. The same matrix would be used approaching the policy level, politics, and also to communicating the risk management techniques to the public as well. Only what I can emphasize this time, maybe the social risks that are related to the threat to the state security, to the terror attacks, to the mass unrest, also nuclear accidents, that actually they were transferring to those orange areas and to the red areas. Yeah, and we have a long-standing emergency plan at the state level that's been actually based on the risks that I showed, and every institution already appointed their responsibilities, whether they are responsible for the management of the situation or they are responsible for assisting the other institutions in managing the situation. So in this plan, all these functions of these different 23 institutions are written and explained. Maybe this is really the problem in itself, that we are sort of we have no big risks in our region, so only sort of small risks. They come and go on the daily basis, and this poses a lot of problem for us as a disaster risk management community, because we don't get a lot of attention from the public and from the politics level in order to be prepared for bigger events that we are show on the risk matrix. But whenever you see those natural risks are taking more and more places. And talking about the nuclear plant in Belarus, it poses not only risks to the, so to say, Lithuania. We have only 400 hours that wind is blowing towards our country, to that direction. And we also prepared the special plan for how we are going to tackle all the issues that relates to those threats. But what I wanted to point out here, that it is not only Lithuania has all the consequences. Wind, it could blow a little bit up also. And yeah, this is the essence of the plan in case that something happens to that nuclear power plant. We have actually we have 39 activities, so to say, and 24 institutions that are engaged in managing the incidents or accidents at the nuclear power plant. Main actions is being written by the recommendation from the IAEA, and there we have a zones that's really written on the practice that is coming from the Chernobyl and Fukushima as well. So the main action is really, its main stressing point is on public information and consultation. Then you have the usage iodine, sheltering, evacuation, and other more or less medical actions. And then now we have a lot of these types of the exercise, international, national, blah, blah, blah. And then we have complex, functional, and tabletop. Maybe I'll try to explain here. The complex is basically means that we use all the procedures. We are testing all the procedures, whatever. I mean, this scenario will involve all the testing of the existing procedures, and all the most important material resources will be placed at the ground and tested how they work. The functional exercise, only one function of the exercise, whatever it would be the aspect of the warning information, whatever it would be the action related to the concrete function, would be only tested. And the tabletop is just simply saying the procedural test, but it would happen only in the operational center. So I'm going to talk about the functional exercise that took place last year on 27th of September. And we've been engaged in a lot of exercise in 2017, and after that year, we just concluded that we have to a little bit to reduce the tempos, because that wasn't really too tense. We had organized a lot of exercise, and we took participation in a lot of other exercises, mostly related to the nuclear and maybe hybrid war situations. So I'm going to talk about the aircraft accident scenario that was taking place last year. So actually we had a goal of exercise to check the functioning, the mechanism and compatibility indicated or placed in the emergency plan, especially attributed to the event of the civil aircraft. And the scenario actually involved the crash of the aircraft with 137 passengers that all died after crash. But even more, that this plane crashed actually on the ground in one of the towns in suburban area of the Vilnius. And this incident even created more incidents at the ground. So that was really sensitive scenario, because the plane crashed actually drowning from the face of the earth, the kindergarten, and more people was killed and injured there. So together with Artūras, Mantas, and other colleagues, we just tried to imagine what was the most important thing that we want to use as a data for our emergency operations center. And we started to discuss it, and we also anticipated what most important data have to be put in those dashboards, maps, and so on. So that was sort of creation of, I'm calling it like SITREP. It's like situation report, and that was really done successful. And what is most also important, that the preparation exercise was really sort of comparable to that one with MH17 crash some times ago, because the same platform, ESRI, disaster response program, was used in that case also. So we took a lot of the lessons learned from that event. Okay, and that's something that you really like to watch, because you find a lot of content useful and understandable. So yeah, so we had at least 3 layers of users, and we have the application users, we have map creator, and data creator. In a lot of these cases, actually the team of NIT, they provided a lot of support, but the basic outcome of this exercise and the especially preparatory process led us also to be engaged more and to be certain and aware about these tools. And I'm quite certain about that my team is really now is more ready than before to use more effectively the platform that we used at that time. And during the exercise, actually at the start of the exercise, we made a decision to send the team, special mobile team with a drone. Actually, we had our own drone who flight the territory and made pictures and also 3D models of the crash site. And actually, this was provided also to the operation center after some times. And that was a main dashboard that was used, and that was really appreciated by all of the personnel, starting from the Vice Minister of Transport and also other colleagues sitting there in Operation Management Center, because it provided a clear picture what happened, where happened, what are the main figures that been reported from the ground. And it really was amazing because that was constantly renewing using the data coming from the crash site. And another really sort of good example that was created a lot of excitement in the Operation Center that we've been able to use these dashboards and also different map products for public information. And that really stemmed out the pressure from the Operation Center in terms of relation to the media, because media and public, they were able to see those data, main data on what happened, where happened, and etc. So we didn't have to have a lot of these special media conferences that usually are really disturbing in operation management. And also, as I've said, we took 3D pictures, and it's really, really helpful in case of just to take a decision. What are the problems at the crash site? What decisions are to be needed to be taken in order just to cover the needs at the ground, and also other. Like meteorological information was also integrated into operational center, operational picture there. So basically what we saw and what we experienced, that we have, at the operational management, we focus really on 3 products, so to say. One is situational awareness or situational report. So basically what we want to see to describe what happened, what are the needs, and also to be more informative about the actions taken by different actors, whatever it would be, authorities, civil protection forces, NGOs, whatever. So Argus platform provided a huge step to using those special created dashboards, maps, and other integrated service into this situational report. Another thing, State Command of Operation, he felt really sort of more assured that he is taking the decisions, being more informed, and all these decisions were really good coordinated with other actors that were coordinating the actions at the crash site. And as I've said, the press releases was really useful to have this platform, and because it stemmed out a lot of pressure from our colleagues in public relation group, because they just provided the media the reference to the internet site, and that was something really amazing. And yeah, and having this exercise and also the report of the exercise of the transport signed by transport minister, actually we did the actual decisions to acquire this more sort of sophisticated platform for operations management center to be used in the future. So actually the procurement procedure is really now ongoing, and we hope that by the start of this next year we've been able to use that platform at our permanent basis in our operation management center. And yeah, maybe some of the colleagues are aware about these incentives, ACAPs, and they provide a lot of services in relation to disaster response, and they basically focus on the humanitarian disasters. But anyway, it's been a case for us, and we've been looking for it at close distance for many months now. And we've been dreaming to have this, at least something comparable to those products that they've been creating. So thank you for your attention. Have a safe. That's it.